every town, all gas down the main spine. Welcome to the I-495 Sports Podcast, taking sports across Long Island, from the bleachers to the broadcast. We break it down, we write it. I-495 Sports Podcast, from the shore to the skyline. If it happens on the island, you'll hear it on this drive time. Small gyms, Friday lights on a side street. Draft talk, trade wins, legends born on the backfields. Call in, sound off, every fan got a hot take. From the bay to the ballpark, we're live when your heart rate spikes. Welcome to the I-495 Sports Podcast, taking sports across Long Island, from the bleachers to the broadcast. We break it down, we write it. I-495 Sports Podcast, from the shore to the skyline. If it happens on the island, you'll hear it on this drive time. Start the car, hit play, we're your ticket every day. Oh yeah. One road, one voice, Long Island makes some noise. Welcome to the I-495 Sports Podcast, taking sports across Long Island, from the bleachers to the broadcast. We break it down, we write it. I-495 Sports Podcast, from the shore.
Hey, welcome to another edition of the I-495 Sports Podcast here from Long Island. A little quick ditty tonight, some things going on that I just wanted to catch up on over the weekend and such. And, hey, look, I got Yankee Stadium working with the background. It's no longer black grass. That was kind of funny. I had to go through like 7 pictures to get that right. But, all right, we're going to open up there. Let's talk New York Yankees. Ooh, look at me, look at me. I love transitions. So, what's going on with Cody Bellinger? Where the hell is the Cody Bellinger signing? Well, here's what is happening and what I believe is going on anyway. I was reading some stuff from Bob Nightingale before. Love all these sports writers. They have so much information, and you just read it all day, and you're sitting there and you're refreshing. And I have Twitter up all day, and I just got a column just for baseball writers, and I hinge on every time that thing scrolls down. I'm like, oh, is this it? Is this it? It's not. So Cody Bellinger has a deal in hand from the Yankees. 5 years. He wants 7. He wants longevity. I get that. Oh, I take my glasses off. And so why hasn't anybody else swooped in yet and offered him the blowout AAV deal on a short term? Well, Nightingale made a good point today that the other teams that are interested in Bellinger, namely the Mets, the Dodgers, and probably the Blue Jays, they would all have to pay a 110% tax on the contract that Bellinger is being offered by the Yankees to blow it away. So think about this for a second. Is Cody Bellinger worth $300 million? Because that's what it's going to cost you to sign him. The Yankees are not over that tax threshold. So he ain't worth that. Now, the Yankees have made a fair deal. I believe it was 5 years. Is it 5 years, 150? Let me see and just verify that. I think it's 150 with 2 opt-outs. 5 year, somewhere in the range of 155 to 160 million. So around 31 to 32 million AAV with opt-outs after years 2 and 3. That's a very fair offer. In fact, it's overpaying for Bellinger. He's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I love him. I wanted him bad before the Yankees signed him last year. Got him last year. His road numbers are not good. I think he had 241 on the road. Did not have a great OPS on the road. So Yankee Stadium is his jam. That's where he's making his money at. I don't think he's going to be that in another place. Not Toronto. No. I think he'd hit very well in Citi Field. There's got some short porch there and right, but he's not a big home run hitter like he used to be. This is not the MVP Bellinger when he hit 40-plus home runs with the Dodgers. Now he's a 25 to 30 home run guy. He'll get you close to 100 RBIs. He's going to get you great defense wherever you put him. Now, the Yankees obviously want him for left field, and he is that backup at first base, to spell Ben Rice or whatever. The Yankees did make another signing today in that respect. Seth Brown, former Oakland A, is been signed to a minor league contract. He only played 38 games for the A's last year. He was not good. Hit a robust 185, 1 homer, 3 RBIs in 76 plate appearances. But he was fairly decent back in 2022 when he actually played 150 games, 25 homers, 73 RBIs, hit 230, OPS of 749, which was a career high. He's just insurance. He's going to go down to the minors. He'll probably pop up at some point. He's a major league player, so maybe he can help Ben Rice a little bit again. That's the one thing I liked about Goldschmidt last year. But let's go back to Bellinger for a second, finish that off. I still feel that Bellinger is going to come back to us. I don't think the Yankees are going to need to go to a 6th year. I think they're going to hold fast where they are. And Bellinger is going to look at his options. I don't know if another team is going to be willing to overpay that much. And honestly, if they are, see ya. It's not like we don't have anybody in left field right now. We have Jason Dominguez. We have the Martian. And as I said many times, I am a huge Jason Dominguez fan. There's something about this kid I just love. Maybe it's the fact that we've had him since he was 16. All the hype around him. He's pretty much succeeded at every level that he's been in. He had a decent year last year. He hit 260, which is like hitting 310 in the major leagues 20 years ago. He's fast, the fastest guy on the team. He hustles, and he's a kid. He's going to be, I think, 23 years old this year. We have him under team control till 2031. So we have a left fielder. I wish he was in center field. I like him better in center field than I do in left field. But again, I have to live with this Trent Grisham crap until at least they could trade him or do something with him. I don't know. He is not even the player he once was defensively, Grisham. And I just don't see him repeating the season he had last year. I don't think he's going to hit 34 homers. He's going to run into some homers. He's always had some pop. Maybe hit 20, something like that. But his career average is like 217. He's not a good hitter, and he strikes out a ton. But let's concentrate. We want to get Bellinger back. You throw him in left field, and Dominguez is pretty much going to come your 4th outfielder. I think he's going to play a lot. He has to play a lot, to keep legs fresh. Judge is going to need days off. Stanton, at some point is going to get hurt. Always does. So then you'll have the DH spot open eventually, and they could rotate him around. So that ponders the question, what happens with Spencer Jones? Now, I've talked about this again in the past. Spencer Jones, who had a monster season at AAA power-wise, 30-plus home runs. He had that one streak when he was just nuclear. He was hitting 1-2 homers every game. It was ridiculous. But the problem with Spencer Jones is he strikes out a ton. I mean a ton. If he came up to the major leagues and you played him every day, he would probably lead the American League in strikeouts, at least right now. I mean, we're talking 250 strikeouts, an insane amount of strikeouts. So I thought that the Yankees would use him as a trade chip to get something in. Possibly Freddie Peralta. It's possible. You hate giving up a top flight prospect for a 1-year rental. But I don't know. The Milwaukee's going to want something. They're not going to want beans for him. And do we really need him? That's been the whole question of this Yankees offseason. Where is the lack of moves? What is the plan? Well, obviously the plan was bank on your starting pitching coming back healthy. You're getting Garrett Cole back. You're getting Carlos Rodon back. You already got Max Fried. You're going to have a whole year of Cam Schlittler. You got Luis Heel, who's now coming a year off of his injury, so you expect him to be better. You've got backups like Blackburn and Yarborough to throw some innings because some of these guys aren't going to come back till May. But yeah, if everything is copacetic and these guys are healthy, we'll have one of the best starting staffs, if not the best starting staff in baseball. I mean, you have legitimate aces. Cole, Rodon, Heel was a rookie of the year. And Fried. And Fried threw a lot of innings last year, but still, he was durable. I think he ran out of gas towards the end, but no other team has that in Major League Baseball. So that's also in the Yankees' mind saying about this whole Bellinger thing. The Yankees had the best offense in baseball last year as far as home runs and scoring runs, which is the point of baseball. So if you take Bellinger out, you give Dominguez the job every single day, are you going to lose that much? I don't think you're going to lose that much. You lose some versatility, but there are things I think you gain too. I think Dominguez is going to get on base a lot this year. He does walk a decent amount, steals a amount of bases. So you're going to get more runs out of him. It's been a little disheartening as a Yankee fan because you're bringing it back. Even if you sign Bellinger, where have you improved? That is the problem, and where a lot of Yankee fans are having a problem with this. Why didn't we spend? Why aren't we spending like the Dodgers? Why aren't we spending like the Mets? Where are these guys coming in to help us? You can understand if you take a step back why they are not spending crazy like this. Now, look, nobody knows the books. They never open the books like a movie Casino. Where's our green? Where's our clean guy to know where we got the financing from? But what the Dodgers have done, and to a lesser effect, what the Mets are doing with these high AAV deals. Again, not against the rules. Kudos for them for spending what they're spending. What this is going to do with the collective bargaining agreement when it ends next year, who knows? That's just the red nuclear button that nobody's pressed yet. And that will be coming. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt the sport. I'm getting visions of 94 all over again. Oh, God, Donald Fear. Oh, I don't need to see Donald Fear anymore. But, the Yankees just have gone into this realizing, look, we have a good team. We are going to win 90 games again. Now, Baltimore's gotten better. Boston's gotten better on the pitching end. But we still won 90-something games. We're still got some youth in there. We've got Austin Wells. We've got Anthony Volpe, who's going to come back, like late May or something like that from his injury. Healthy. So they still have a lot of faith in him. You still got Jazz Chisholm, who's young. You got Dominguez, who's young. You got a lot of youth there. Is it going to translate to be able to beat Toronto? Or I don't personally think that Baltimore is going to be vying for the AL East title yet. But a couple of years ago, they were an up-and-coming team. Can they turn it around? Look, they put some money into it. I'm not so happy of the guys that they brought in. I don't think they're going to really do much for them. But it's going to be a watchable product. If they can avoid the typical Yankee June swoon where they go like 2-25 over a 27-game stretch. So it's going to be interesting to watch. I think Bellinger is going to come back. I think it will be announced soon. I think it's sometime in the next couple of days that he's just going to weigh it out and say, look, this is the best offer that I've got. And it's no offer to scoff at. 5 years. $160 million. He's set for life. He's got the longevity that he pretty much wanted. Yeah, you want 7 years, but look, you get to a certain age, he'd be 37 at the end of that contract. What is he going to be? He's not going to be as fast as he was. He's going to be slowing down. The bat's going to be slower. Take it to you're 35. You've made enough money. You can retire after that and go into the Fox booth. So that's what's going on in Yankee land right now. They haven't really added or done anything much. They picked up some international pool money the other day, which is, a big thing lately. That's how we got Dominguez, signing him for $5.1 million out of the international bonus pool money. So nothing else really to report on that fact. Let's shift over to Queens. Me, I love transitions. Ooh, where's Citi Field? I love that. I just love that. Bo Bichette. I got to give David Stern some credit on this, and more so Stevie Cohen, because Stevie wrote the big check to bring this in. Nobody saw this coming. I sure as hell didn't think that this was going to happen. I was pretty sure that Bo Bichette was going to wind up in Philadelphia, which he had a 7-year, $200 million contract offer from Philadelphia. And I was like, oh, that's done. Nobody else is giving him 7 years. And here comes the Mets with a $46 million AAV contract for Bo Bichette. Now, a little strange because he's not playing shortstop. That's Francisco Lindor. The plan is, it's been already said, they're going to put him at third base. Okay. Little visions of A-Rod, who became a phenomenal third baseman. I don't think Bichette has A-Rod's footwork and athletic ability. He's a good guy. He's a gamer, clutch player. But now you've got a guy at third base who's never played third base. You've got Polanco at first base, who's never played first base. That's just, I can't wait to see how that's going to work. I can't wait for spring training. I really can't. Look, these guys are major league ball players. They're athletes. It's not like they're going to go out there and not be able to catch the ball. If you're a shortstop, you could play third base. If you're a major league ball player, you can play first base. I don't think they're going to be bad. Is Polanco at first base going to be as good as Pete Alonso? No, I don't believe he's going to. The whole Alonso thing, really, you have to question that whole thing, what that was going on with that, because if the Mets offered $46 million to Bo Bichette, you couldn't offer that kind of money to Pete Alonso, who was really just a fan favorite in Queens. I'm not a Mets fan, and I liked Pete Alonso, the polar bear. He was goofy. He was clutch. He was just a fun guy to watch. Homegrown, he really was the face of that franchise, and he was good. I think he's gonna be sorely missed. Can't wait for him to come back to Citi Field in September. They should have a really big tribute, big turnout for that. But it's gonna be weird not having him there. But the Mets are better today than they were yesterday. The Bichette signing, they had a right-handed bat to that lineup that can help protect Soto. Great signing, really. I think he's going to be good. Now, he's got opt-outs after the first 2 years, I believe. So if he has a good year, he's gone. Which is interesting because I believe, if I read it right, the opt-out clause for Bo Bichette, if he opts out, they are giving him $5 million. I don't think I've ever heard of a contract in Major League Baseball, or any sport really, that they want you to opt out after a year. That's just weird. But okay, it's part of the package. You got him here. That's the important thing. And I think the fans are going to like him. He's a likable guy. Again, Toronto, by not re-signing him, that hurts them a little bit, which was good for us. So what else are the Mets going to do? Right now, they're penciled in left field a rookie, or at this current moment, if the ball's hit out there, there ain't nobody there to catch it. I forgot the name of the kid that's in going to left field. Keening or something like that. What's his name? I forgot his name. But either way, there's some questions. Should the Mets go out and possibly have a reunion with Harrison Bader? That wouldn't be bad. He's a good center fielder. This is why, and I said it again, I said it in the last couple of weeks, why the Yankees gave the qualifying offer to Trent Grisham. I think Grisham would have been perfect in Queens. 2 years. Give him a 2-year deal, maybe a little less than the qualifying offer, what it was. 2 years, $20 million. And that's a guy that would go there every day, and he's good defensively. Again, he's not as great as he used to be, but just would have locked down center field, and then they could have done whatever they wanted with left. Now, the Bellinger question looms with the Mets. Do they try to blow him away on a short-term deal? Again, that short-term deal is going to cost you with the luxury tax. It doesn't seem that way. I think they've thought about it, but he's really sticking fast that he wants that 7-year deal or longevity. The Mets would want him on a short-term deal. I don't think he wants that, which is where we are. But it's going to be interesting in Queens. Where's the pitching? There's got to be something else coming from the Mets pitching-wise. I wouldn't be shocked if the Mets, in turn, traded for Peralta or traded for Skubal. Now, I think Scooble's going to cost you obviously more. But I could see that. Supposedly their minors has been rebuilt over the last couple of years. And it's a lottery ticket, these minor league kids. You put a package together and send it to Detroit, maybe it's just that would really ignite the fan base. Oh, there would be happy fires in Queens instead of them wanting to burn down David Stearns' house currently. So we'll keep abreast of that situation that's going over in Queens. Like I said, this is going to be a quick one tonight. I got to talk about the New York Knicks, who lost again tonight, and 2-8 in their last 10. They are a horror show right now. I know there's been some injuries. Everybody's always injured. Can't use this as an excuse. Was Thibodeau the problem? Honestly. Now, Mike Brown has come in, Coach Brown, and he's been playing 10 deep, which is nice to see. The Knicks, going back, back to the Riley years, never played the bench. It was always 7, 8 at most in the rotation. Now you're going 10, 11 deep. I'm seeing Huck Porty get minutes. Shamet now came back and he's getting minutes, and he was very good. The bench was excellent up till a couple of weeks ago. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what the hell's happened. They've all fallen off a cliff. Tonight they lost 114-97 to the Mavericks, and I'm looking at the box score. Anunoby has been so up and down. He played 31 minutes, scored 9 points on 3 of 8 shooting. That's not good. Bridges, 33 minutes, 7 points on 3 of 10. Both of these two are so consistently inconsistent. Anunoby will go off one night, have 28 points, will hit 5 of 7 from downtown, and then go 2 games where you can't even find him on the box score. The same thing with Bridges. I don't understand their inconsistency. It's mind-boggling to me. And it hurts, and it shows now the way they're playing. Karl Anthony Towns had a good game, 22 points, 18 boards. Again, had a lot of ticky-tack fouls, had 5 fouls. Surprised he didn't foul out. 9 of 19 from the floor. There's a lot of questions about Cat. I like Cat, but really, aren't we all kind of sick of seeing Cat get the ball, top of the key, dribble. Here he is, going up for the layup, makes the layup, and now he's on the floor. Every single time he goes for the layup, he's on the floor. There's only so many times a guy of his size is going to hit the floor before he breaks something. And this guy's on the floor more than 80s Madonna. Every single time he shoots the ball, he's on the floor. I'm surprised he doesn't fall over when he shoots a 3. Now, he's got game. He doesn't have a defensive game very much. He'll come up with a nice block every now and again, but defensively, again, the footwork is not good. He's slow. The defenders can get around him. Layups, too many layups in the lane by the opposing teams. This is going to be the problem with the Knicks. I said it last week. I'll say it again. Lack of defense. Bridges and Anunoby are supposed to be lockdown defenders on the outside, but they can only do so much when you have Brunson and Towns in the lineup at the same time, and you're effectively playing 5v3 on the defensive end. It's not good. So many 3-pointers given up. So many. All you got to do against the Knicks, you want to beat the Knicks? Rotate the ball on the outside, find the open man, shoot the 3. That's it. That's in a nutshell. There's no, just draw it. That's your X's and O's right there. I've seen it for years, and it's all NBA teams. Nobody knows how to defend the 3 because you can't teach defense. It's got to be something that you're born with. It's got to be something that you have a knack for. You have to have that hustle gene, that willingness to get out there, get the hands in the face, have quick lateral footwork. Don't get deked. Go to your weak hand, good, where it's not easy to get around that side of you. The Knicks don't have a lot of that. And then you look at the bench. Okay, you got Mitchell Robinson, who is one of the best rim defenders, but nobody goes to the rim really anymore. It's all outside shooting. So they've taken that one nice little advantage the Knicks would have had inside, and it's worthless now. In fact, I think that Mitchell Robinson is he's averaging less than 2 blocks a game, which is probably his career low. Back in the old days when centers were centers and you had low block game, Mitch probably would have gotten 4 to 5 shot blocks a game. Look at his offensive rebounding. He is the best offensive rebounder I think I've ever seen. better than Rodman, better than Oakley. His arms are so long, and he's still young. He's got some hop for a second round pick. I believe he was picked 30th by the Knicks in the second round. He has a knack for getting that ball like a hungry tiger going after a steak, like Charles Barkley used to do. And Barkley was undersized. You shoot the ball, you get Mitch down the blocks. Almost 50% of the time, he's going to get an offensive rebound. Unbelievable. But we can't take advantage of that. The NBA game in itself, again, I mentioned this last week. It's so hard to watch now. The lack of defense. I yearn for the days where 92-79 was a crazy score. Now it's 135-127. We like offense in America. That's why soccer never took off. But it's just, I don't know. It's hard to put a term on it. The lack of defense, the lack of toughness. That's one of the things. Everybody's become a pussy. Okay, you used to drive through the lane and write your will as you're driving through there, because if you actually got through 2 or 3 people, you were probably going to wind up in the hospital. That's basketball. That's NBA basketball. I'm talking about Moses Malone, Olajuwon on the inside, and Ewing and Oakley and Mason, Rodman, guys who would defend the block. You come in there, you're coming into their house, and you're going to get hurt. That was basketball. Oh, I wish it was so fun and watchable, even though you would have some really low-scoring games, and you'd be like, oh, God, these guys stink. It was the defense. Now, I look at this league, I look at the Knicks. Right now, the Knicks are 6.5 games out of first place. We were in first place for a little while. Then Boston's doing this without their best players, has come and overtaken us. I don't know what they're going to do. You can't just magically change philosophy on a team. You can't say, okay, now we're going to become a lockdown defending team. No, it doesn't work, obviously. The Knicks are what they are right now. So the rumblings are out there. Do they trade Karl Anthony Towns? I don't think they do. I still think they're going to hold steady. Leon Rose and Dolan didn't think they need to trade anybody. Let's see if they can straighten this thing out, because it's ugly right now. You're watching them, they're not passing the ball, which is the thing that got them to where they were. They were very, very good at ball rotation, finding the open man, hitting the shot. Now, it's like all 5 of them have gone back to ISO, which, if you know me, I fucking hate ISO. Worst thing I've ever seen in an NBA game is players that take it upon themselves and make it all about themselves and don't get their teammates involved. Drives me batshit. So, we'll pay attention to them over the week. I want to do a quick word here on the NFL. And since we might as well go to the Meadow of the Lands. Oh, look at these transitions. I love it. Hey, John Harbaugh. You are now coach of the New York Giants. 5 years, $100 million for a coach. He finally signed it, got all that wordage worked out. I'm excited. I'm excited for the Giants. Look, the Giants can't get worse. That's one thing I can guarantee you. It's been, 10, 12 years of just ineptitude in the organization. I know the Maras are going through a lot of personal things, but give them credit that they went out, they jumped on it, and they said, this is for the fan base. We've got to get stability back in the organization. And that is what the Giants did. For 5 years, we have a coach. Now, I liked the guys that the Giants had coaching. I was indifferent about Kafka. I didn't know about him. I liked Brian Daboll. I thought he was going to come in and be a stable coach. He wasn't. Obviously, not all his fault, but was his first head coaching gig. You've got now a guy that's got 20 years experience to come in, take the reins, run things his way. I got positive outlook going forward. Now, are the Giants going to be a playoff team next year? There's a chance. we've got some good players on this roster. They've got the number 5 pick in the draft. We'll see what kind of philosophy he brings in. I believe he's also bringing in the offensive coordinator he had with him. Don't know his name. At least I believe I heard that. If that's the case, fine. Look, we don't have Lamar Jackson, who was an MVP, but Jackson Dart is no slouch. This kid can play. If he can stay healthy, I think the Giants are finally going to have a product on the field that we can all look forward to a game each week of competitive football. That's all we can ask. So welcome, Coach Harbaugh. We'll see how you're going to do in the draft, and beyond that, we'll pay attention. Last thing I wanted to touch on before I get to one outside of kind of a sport thing, but kind of a sport thing that I meant to get to in my first show that I didn't do. The 28th, I believe, I will be in attendance at the Islanders-Rangers game at USB Arena. I am looking so forward to this. I've never been to one. Plus, the Rangers stink, which is a good thing. I'm not a Ranger fan. That's probably is it the New York team that I can actually... I don't hate any New York teams, but it's close to a hate with the Rangers because I'm an Islander fan. You can't have any good feelings for the Rangers if you're an Islanders fan. Hockey's a different sport. If you're living in New York and you're a baseball fan, most people, I would think, don't have a disdain for either side unless they're playing each other because they're doing their own kind of things. As a Yankee fan, I don't hate the Mets. In fact, in the last 10 years, I'd say I've probably gone to more Met games than Yankee games because people wind up giving me their tickets. So, the Knicks and Nets, nobody hates the Nets. Nobody even knows the Nets still play in New York. They do, right? Are the Nets still in Brooklyn? Yeah, I think so, right? Giants and Jets, there's just, they play once every 4 years. They play a preseason game, but they've never been involved in anything real close that one side would hate the other. It's almost like a big brother, little brother type thing. I don't hate the Jets. I laugh at the Jets because it's just comical what goes on over there. But Islanders-Rangers is a different animal. The Islanders and Rangers have had playoff series against each other. There is a deep rooting hatred there if you're one or the other. The Ranger fans come in, they invade UBS Arena. The Islanders fans don't really invade MSG that much. I don't blame them. The prices are freaking ridiculous. But I am looking so forward to this. A couple of years ago, in work, one of my coworkers came up with the ability to buy authentic NHL jerseys from blah blah China for like $20 a pop. I mean, really nice, authentic, sewn on jerseys with, you could put whatever name you want in the back. So I bought 2. I bought one for me, one for the wifey unit, with our last name on the back. Now that, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to buy jerseys for your kids, don't buy jerseys with the players' names on them. I have a Bill Guerin jersey from the Islanders. I don't even know where the hell I got it from. What was Bill Guerin on the Islanders, like 12 years ago? What the hell am I going to do with that? Hang it up? It's like buried in the closet. No, you put your last name on it, whatever number that you like. And now you've got that for life. No matter who they sign, release, trade, boom, you got yourself a jersey. So this was a Christmas present to me by my wife and my kids, which really hit hard because it's not cheap to go to one of these games at all. So this will be my second Islander game this year. All right, so third. I forgot if I've gone to 2 or 3. Either way, UBS Arena is it's the nicest arena in the area. It's the newest. The amenities are unbelievable. You see it behind me there. And it's literally 5 minutes from where I work. Cannot wait for this. I go to hockey games. I'm a bit of a lunatic. I scream. I yell. I was calm the last time I went because I was sitting right next to the glass. Now I'm going to be up just a little bit so I can go into regular lose my mind mode. There is no greater sport, in my mind, my opinion, to watch live than hockey. It's always moving. Things are always happening. And what other sport do they let them kick the living shit out of each other? Oh, God, come on. You got to, what's the Paul in the Mood? Slapshot. Got to watch Slapshot. The scene in Slapshot when the three brothers come on the ice and the one of the Hanson brothers takes a slap shot and hits the organist in the head with the puck. One of the funniest movie moments I have ever seen. I couldn't breathe when I watched that for the first time. I was literally like I had the wind kicked out of me. I was heaving for breath. Hilarious. But yeah, NHL hockey in itself is just fun to watch. Back and forth. You're on ice, so it can't stop. And you can be a bit of a jerk in the crowd. You can scream, you could chant. There are people bringing drums. It's almost like European soccer. So I look highly forward to that. All right, the last thing I wanted to hop on this quick reactionary type pod. I want to talk about what happens or what is happening. Where'd my mouse go? Over at the radio station WFAN. Let me just, I guess I'll stay at UBS Arena since I'm being there. Hey, I'm full screen again. So, after the new year, WFAN, which is the biggest sports radio station, I believe, in the country, has had many, many wonderful hosts over the years, people that I grew up listening to. I listen to it at some point every day. One of my best friends is now a midday host there. From the last podcast, I'm tired. I talk about my boy Evan Roberts all the time. Love the boy. He's now the elder statesman over there, I believe. He's been there for 20 years or something like that, which blows my mind because he's so young. So there was a lot of turnover. And they've gone a lot of different directions after the New Year's, and everybody else had a reactionary podcast about it. So I said, well, I might as well talk about it for a minute. I do listen to the morning show, which is Boomer Esiason and Greg Giannotti with old Al Hughes. It's a great morning show. I get into my car sometimes, and my wife has Z100 on, and she takes my daughter to work with my car sometimes, and I get in, I'm like, got to go to Boomer and Gio. They're a great morning show. They've been going for a while. Now they've moved my boy Evan and Tiki Barber with Sean Morash to the middays, which I was happy about because that's probably the best time for me to listen to FAN, which is that 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. slot at work. Because it used to be that Evan would wind up in the drive time and that would run into my boy Anthony's show. And then I'm like, oh, shit. So now I could listen to their whole show, and then I could listen to Anthony's show at 4 o'clock. Craig Carton has come back, and he's teamed up with Chris McMonagle for the drive time. I've tried listening to it, and look, I'm just being honest. I've met Craig. I like Craig. He's a nice guy, always been very nice to me, has had very nice words to me on air before. When he said that they ran out of orange when they had to put my fat tubby ass on the back of the post. Honestly, the show to me, I'm just going to say it. I'm not crazy about it. And it's not that I don't like Craig and McMonagle. I like them both. I just don't feel like there's a great flow there. Maybe it'll grow. These things take time to build. I also think I'm sad about the loss of Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata, as there's some other people there that they let go too, like Chris Moore, who I liked, and some other people. Richard Neer. Richard Neer is, just an immortal radio guy. But Brandon and Sal, for as crazy as they are, was a great show for banter back and forth between two lunatics. I enjoyed it very much. I enjoyed how crazy they made people. And it was always a fun show to listen to. Sal with King Cohen and his whole Mets aspect. Brandon coming in from the Yankee aspect. There's some headbutting there. And it didn't start off great. Sort of like Craig and McMonagle's show was kind of the same thing. But that grew into something that I enjoyed listening to every day. And now they're on Twitter doing and YouTube doing their own podcasts. Brandon Tierney's doing Unleashed, I think it's called, and the Salicata show is on there. It's great to see them doing this. And it's great to see that YouTube and places like Spotify and Apple Podcasts and stuff has become a place where if you're in radio or whatever, you can make a shift to that until something better comes along. I wish everybody success in this. Dove Kramer is not at FAN anymore. I believe he retired. I love Dove. I love talking to Dove on Twitter. Such a nice man. To me, was the rock of FAN. Always there in the background doing his thing, whatever he did. I think he was a producer, you know. Now Morash is doing what Dove did, and he's learning on the job, and he's done a great job. I like Sean. He's funny. He always replies to my tweets. Funny guy, especially on whenever the Giants play. Now he's a Ranger fan, so nobody's perfect. But he's a good guy, and I wish all of these guys success. And I know they're going to succeed. There's really no other game in town. ESPN radio is no longer on FM anymore. That's on AM. So FAN is it. And if you're a sports fan in the New York tri-state area, at some point you've listened to FAN. When I was in high school in the 90s, the early 90s, I would go to bed every night listening to Steve Summers. Steve Summers schmoozing overnight was life. It was just like a religion. You know, eat your vitamins, say your prayers, and listen to Steve overnight. His voice, one of the greatest radio voices I've ever heard. His intros, his monologues, his thoughts, I called Steve a lot over the years. I remember the last time I talked to Steve, I was driving home from a side job here on the island. This is a couple of years ago. Steve was on, and I called in the car. And I talked about, I went on IMDb, and I found out that Steve was in a movie in the 70s called, not The Arrival. Hang on. Let me look up the movie just because I want to get it right. Steve Summers. It was called... No, that's not the wrong Steve Summers. This one. Oh, what was it called? Darn it. Where is it? Wow, that's not Steve Summers. That's darn it, what was it called? It was an alien type movie. Oh, here it is. It was called The Visitor. Yes, The Visitor. 1979, this movie came out. And he's only in it for a couple of seconds, really. He was, back then, the television announcer for the Atlanta Hawks. And he's in it. He was a television or radio, but he's in it as a TV announcer. And it doesn't even look like him. So I brought it up to him on the air, and I was like, "Yeah, Steve, how you doing?" And listen, I wanted to let everybody know I was looking at some movie to watch the other night with my wife, and I came across this movie. Maybe you knew about it or something. It's called The Visitor. And as soon as I said that, he had that Summers chuckle at and he was so happy that I had brought this up that nobody knew about this. Nobody, I don't even think anybody at the station knew about this. And I'm sure people checked it out afterwards that he was in this movie. It was an actual freaking movie. He was just so nice to talk to. And God bless him. He's still coming back, and he still does an hour here, an hour there. I believe he just had a book out that I want to get. I have a picture of Steve hanging up in my office that was signed. My sister had him signed for me. I never met him personally face to face, but a wonderful man. And all these guys and girls that have been at FAN over the years, you kind of take it for granted that you tune into a station like that and you listen to them every day, and you get used to their little quips and their whatever. I loved Maggie Gray when she was on, when she did the midday show. And now she's on CBS Sportsnet, I think, doing a more of a national thing. All these people, it's like, I'm a creature of habit, so I love when things are just status quo. And when they change things this New Year's at FAN, I was like, ooh, I'm a little concerned now. I'm out of my element. But I hope for their success. I give Craig a lot of credit for coming back from what he had to come back from and doing his gambling addiction show, which, if you know me, I'm not a big gambler. A big gamble to me, a huge gamble to me, was the $19 I put on the Jets to not win 3 games. Pricks. But I bet a quarter, $1. You know, I know people that have had to go to GA, and I would never, ever let that come into my world. It's an addiction like anything else. And for him to do that show to help people in lieu of what he did takes a lot. And he definitely deserves credit for that. And he does it seriously. And I hear the calls that call into Craig's show during the day. And a lot of them are people who have had addiction or currently have addiction. There was a woman that called about a week ago. I was driving back from lunch and I had the show on like 2:00. And a woman called and she said, yeah, I'm an addict. I'm currently an addict. And he took a moment to even reach out to her and say, listen, if you want, go on hold, give me your phone number if you don't have anybody to talk to, and I'll talk to you on a one-on-one level. Whatever you feel about Craig, whatever you feel about his show, whatever, he's doing a great job with that. That really is a helpful thing, and I got to give him kudos for that. And I want them to succeed. Hopefully bigger and better things. Again, I love my boy Evan in the midday. There is no greater radio than when Evan Roberts is pissed off, which I hate. I honestly hate that. I hate the fact that I need the Nets to suck, the Mets to suck, the Jets to suck, and do really awful things for Evan to be all pissy on the radio, and it's just funny. One of the greatest radio moments that the boy ever did was when James Harden was traded to the Nets, and Evan was so mad. So mad. He's got an iPad that he brings with him. He's not a technological genius, Evan, I will say that. And he's got his iPad, which has been attached to his hip for years now. Really, who uses iPads anymore? And he was trying to find out who was in the trade. And this is on YouTube. You could look it up. And he was on with Craig at the time. This is when them two had a show. And Craig told Evan that Jarrett Allen was in the deal. And I swear I thought Evan was going to fling his iPad across the room. No. And this all comes down to how James Harden was overweight. And he did the now infamous dribble, fat, dribble, fat. I still randomly think about that and will laugh out of nowhere. That's what WFAN gives to the sports fan in this area. I don't know if wherever you are, you're watching this, if you have a sports talk radio station in your area. I know there are some national ones. But if you're a sports fan, it's a great outlet. And I've called a lot over the years. I've talked to Moose. I've talked to Boomer and Gio. I love Moose, by the way. Moose is a great guy. I've talked to Richard Neer. I've talked to Evan. I've talked to Tiki. I've talked to Craig. I've talked to Francesa, Mike and the Mad Dog. I miss Mike. But thankfully, Mike has a podcast on YouTube, the Mike Francesa podcast. Me and my best friend, we always go there first. Love Mike's takes on everything because he's so serious. He just breaks it down. Okay, we're back. I'm going to talk about the Giants. He's just so, I don't know how you put it. It's almost like the voice of God. And some people can't stand Mike. Oh, they hate him. You know, the years he had to deal with the Jason Giambi calls. Just hilarious. But I love watching Mike. Love watching him. So happy that he's doing something that you can watch at will. And it's just like this thing I'm doing here. It's just a pop-up, blah, blah. Now, I take it a little bit further as I have the green screen and stuff like that. I wanted to put this on Spotify and stuff like that. I haven't done it yet because I just haven't had the time. But I'd like to do it so that people can listen to it in the car. Right now, you're watching this on your computer or your phone or something like that. So I will have it where I could just take the audio and put it up and listen to it while you're driving or stuff like that. For those in the New York area who just want my humble opinion on things, which, does my opinion matter? Oh, hell no. But That being said, if you would like to come on the show, you want to come on as a guest, you're more than welcome to. I have a phone line that I can use for calls that maybe next podcast I'll open up for a little bit. But if you want me to talk about a certain topic or you have a question, you can send an email to I-495podcast@gmail.com. Hit me with your best shot. Hit me with a comment. I'll talk about it on there. I'll talk about everything. I am an open book, ladies and gentlemen. It's like 8,000 degrees in this room right now with all these damn lights. So that's all for this round of the I-495. As soon as the Cody Bellinger decision is hit, that night we will have another pod because we will talk about where we go from here. That pretty much will finalize the roster pretty much for the Yankees, so that's what we're waiting on. And that's it. I hope everybody has a good week. It's Monday. I hope everybody had a nice holiday today. For those of you that were off, lucky. I had to work because that's what I do. And I will see you all in the next couple days. So, and in fact, I might do an I-495 directly from the UBS Arena on the 28th. It's either the 26th or the 28th. Which date is it? Hang on. Let me just see what day that is. It is... Yeah, 28th. So, yes, Islands Range. So yeah, the 20th, I might do a little live thing for my phone right there in UBS. Give everybody the layout as we're coming in. You can see how beautiful the arena is. And how about a review? There is this dish that you got to get in the UBS Arena if you go to an Islander game. We just go to the arena in general. Right when you walk in, you jot to the left, and there is a barbecue stand there that's got, I got it for my wife last time we were there. It's macaroni and cheese with pulled pork on top. My God. It is the greatest dish meal I have ever had at an arena. It's about $15-16, but worth it. I will be getting that there. You'll see it. Oh yeah, I'm going to divulge. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you. Have a good night, and we will see you again. We'll see you again soon. By the way, how do you like that intro music? I freaking love this song. I honestly do. And I'm going to play it again as we go out because I just have the ability to do that. So enjoy, and I'll see you all later.
You'll hear it on this drive time. Start the car, hit play. We're your ticket every day. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. One road, one voice. Long Island makes some noise. Welcome to the I-495 Sports Podcast. From the shore to the skyline. If it happens on the island, you'll hear it on this drive time. Start the car, hit play. We're your ticket every day. Oh yeah. One road, one voice, Long Island.